Okay, so specifically for the recordings now. All right, yesterday we left off, we had done some of the red. The purple mark is what I did today in the last class. All right, and all that's already on YouTube. So if you're interested, you can look that up. All right, if you want to just quickly look at your answers to see how you're doing for some of the evens, we can do that real quick. All right, what? Well,
Oh, I got the right answer. I just had to redo that
all right, here we go. So what I want to do now is I want to look back at the odds, 1, 3, 5, 7, we've already done that. Yesterday in class we did 9, 11, 13, and 15. So if you don't mind, we're going to start right now with question number 17. Now, for question number 17, all right, the first thing we have to do is 16 plus 9. All right, so now you're looking at 100 divided by 25 times 6. Now, order of operation. We have to move left to right. So I'd have to do the division first. So it'd be 100 divided by 25 is 4, and then 4 times 6 is 24. If you got that right, you can give yourself a little check. If you made a mistake on that, right, if you made a mistake on that, just make the corrections. Yes.
So, like, even though the PEMDAS is like multiplication and then division, you always go left to right.
That's why when I write PEMDAS, I write it like this. I write P-E-M-D-A-S.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
Right, so the multiplication and division are always done from left to right. Multiply doesn't come before divide. Right? Addition doesn't come before subtraction. All right? You always move from left to right if you have multiplication division together. All right? Now, with that, let's take a look at number 19. So the first thing we do is 49 divided by 7, which is 7. Then we do 7 times 2, which is
14.
16 minus 14, 2. Give yourself a check now. Please pay attention. The first test is Friday. It'd be nice if everybody made an A on Friday, because it really is just a review. You should know how to do all this. All right?
Tomorrow Friday?
Not tomorrow Friday.
Oh, that's right.
All right? Next Friday. All right? So now let's take a look at 21. Hanson, what do I got to do first?
Okay, so you gotta do 10 plus 2 on the top.
Good.
Which equals 12.
And
And
then?
then on the bottom, 24 divided by 3, which is 8.
Beautiful.
And then on the top, it'll be 4 times 12, which is 48. And on the bottom, it'll be 2 times 8, which is 16.
And then, of course,
divided by 16 is 3.
you're awesome.
Good job.
Very good. Very good. Give yourself a check. All right? Now, again, the next one should be relatively easy. Tell me your first name again.
Jack.
Jack. Thank you, Jack. Go 23.
So you first do 8 plus 4, which is 12.
Beautiful.
And then you do 6 minus 3, which is 3. So 12 times 3 is 36.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Good job, Jack.
All right. Caroline, go.
Let's do 8 plus 2 is 10.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're doing inside the parentheses. That is correct. Inside the
Oh,
parentheses.
okay. So 5 times 2
Perfect.
is 10.
Good.
And then 10 plus 8 is 18. And 18 minus 6 is 12. And then 12 times 4 is 8.
You're awesome.
Good job.
Good job. Simple as that. All right, Allison, you're up. 27.
14 divided by 2 is 7 times 5 is 35 plus 8 is 38.
Simple, guys. I told you. 38. Give yourself some checks here, guys. The reason why I like to tell you to give yourself a check is because if you're reviewing your notes and you got a bunch of X's, you need to go back and look it over. If you got a bunch of check marks, then you're in good shape. All right, that's all it is. It's you evaluating yourself. All right. Now, 29. Let's see how you did on that. Alicia rented bowling shoes for $3 and played 4 games at $2 each. Write and evaluate an expression for the total cost of the bowling. Mr. Genowine, what do I have to do?
So The shoes are $3 each, and she played 4 games at $2. So then you have to do 4 times 2, which is 8, and then plus the $3, and that would be 11.
Exactly right. Very good. $11. Give yourself a check on that one. All right, now since we have a little bit of time here, what I'd like to do is I'd like everybody just to check their evens real quick. All right, give yourself a check if you got it right. All right, number 10 was 6. Number 12 was 162. Number 14 was 162 also, I believe. 16 was 81. 18 was 50. 20 was 0. 22 is 23. 24 was 5. 26 was 7. Now, I want to show you this real quick. 26 wasn't 7, it was 2. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I wanted to show you something. I got sidetracked about this. So I want everybody to look up, please. Look up, look up, look up, look up. Right? I want to try to show you something. Most people, when I say, what is 105 divided by 15? They don't really know, right? Most people. Some people know what the answer is, right? But more than likely, that's not something that just stands out, all right? So what I want to try to do is I want to show you how to do division so it's easy, all right? So everybody look up. If I take 105 and divide it by 15, since I don't know that that's 7, what number goes into 105 and 15? Obviously, 5 does. So I can divide both of those by 5. You should be able to look at 105 and say 105 divided by 5 is just 21. That's not a big deal, right? And then you should be able to say 15 divided by 5 is what?
3.
So now 21 divided by 3 is 7. So 105 divided by 15 is what?
7.
7. So again, whenever you're doing division, sometimes you don't know the division. So divide by what goes into both numerator and denominator. Yeah, you divide twice. Much, much, much easier. It's a lot easier if you learn it that way. All right? So now, once we came up to 7, then 7 minus 6 times 2. All right, that's how I came up with that answer. All right? Everybody take a look at 28. That ended up being 36. All right? Now, because we're in good shape as far as time goes, does somebody want me to show you how I got one of those answers? Anybody? Or are we just ready to move on?
Go back up to where it had 12 or 14.
Somebody else? What?
Oh, I got 28 wrong. I just did that.
Let's look at it. 28. Here we go. Now, here's where I want you to kind of look at some notes here. All right? First thing we have to do is the what? Parentheses.
Yes.
So 4 plus 5 is
9.
9. Now notice I just left the 4 there. Because I came over here and did this parentheses. 10 minus 7 was
3.
3. Now, I do left to right. So I do 4 times 9, which is
36.
36. Now I do 36 divided by 3, and then times 3. So everybody with me on that? If you did 3 times 3 is 9, then you got the wrong answer. Right? So I'm trying to tell you how important it is. Now, some of you guys who didn't quite realize what PEMDAS was, you didn't remember the rule. If you paid attention, you now completely understand order of operation. If you didn't pay attention, you don't know about the order of multiplying and dividing and adding and subtracting.
So was 20, what was 28?
36. Did you get that? Now you're going to go back and go. I know why you got 4.
Yeah.
She got 4 because 36 divided by 9 is 4. You shouldn't have done that, right? You should have done what? 36 divided by 3 and then times 4. You're going to be on that, right? Again, that's a very, very good problem that most people miss on the test because they don't understand moving left to right when you see addition and subtraction. Is everybody happy with that explanation?
Yes.
All right, so I'm in pretty good shape. I'm in pretty good shape now. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next page and we're going to work on the odds. All right.
Oh yeah, we never.
21.
Oh yeah.
21. All right. Now let me look at the time situation. I want you guys to keep me up to date as far as the time goes. So today we get out at 1. I'm looking right at the sheet. It says here we get out at 1:35. All right, because of maybe the modified. I'm not 100% sure, but 1:35. So I want to stop at 1:30. Everybody with me?
Yes.
That'll give me time to load it up on YouTube so you can go back and listen to it. All right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the next translations. All right? These up here were called numerical expressions because only numbers were involved. The next one is called algebraic expressions because variables are involved. And variables are just a fancy way for saying the letters that stand for something. Is everybody good with that?
Yes.
All right. So now, I'm looking at number 1. How do I represent 2 inches shorter than Catherine's height? 2 inches shorter than Catherine's height. Miles.
We represent Catherine's height with K, and then
Good.
we can write K minus 2.
That's exactly right. Now notice he did not say 2 minus K. Are you starting with 2 inches or are you starting with Catherine's height? Catherine's height. It's her height minus 2. Yes, ma'am.
Nice question.
Of course. We got to talk about that, guys. Again, if you need to use the restroom, you don't have to ask. Just hustle there and hustle back. All right? I just want to address your concerns with what? Math. What?
I was just wondering, what if you did like a different variable?
Does the letter matter?
No.
No.
Doesn't matter. You can put A, B, C, D, E, F. On the test, sometimes I say let the variable be n. All right, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the variable is. All right. So let's look at 3. Some number added to 17. So are you starting with the number or are you starting with 17? Mr. Mead, what do you think? Some number added to 17. So are you starting at some number or are you starting at 17?
Some number 13. No, we're on 3.
Shh, stop interrupting.
Oh.
Shh. Some number added to 17.
17. We're starting with 17.
That's right. So the answer is what?
17, or x plus 17.
How about 17 plus x?
Oh.
Because you told me, what am I starting with?
Oh, yeah, 17.
Right? Because we're adding to 17.
Yes.
Does that make sense, right? And I'm just telling you, you got to be careful with that reading. 17 should be first. All right? It should be 17 plus x, not x plus 17. All right? Now, again, we're checking out number 5. All right? So, Miss Danzy, tell me about number 5.
3 pounds lighter than
Whoever.
weight.
Yeah.
Whoever's weight.
Uh-huh.
So it would be A minus 3.
Perfect. That's how I want you to think about it. A minus 3. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better. Mr. Sincel, what about number 7?
$3 more than the cost of the ticket. So it would be D plus 3.
You're awesome, buddy. Thank you very much. D plus 3. Lander, how about 9?
Half as many pieces of candy.
What would that be?
C minus 1/2. No.
Think about it like this. I always think about money. If I said, what's half of $10? How did you get that? Now, in your head, what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, I had Half of 10. What did I do to 10 to get it to 5?
Subtract 5.
But how did you get 5? See what I'm saying? So listen to what I'm saying. So you only have two numbers, 1/2 and 10. So how did I get 5 with just using those numbers? Close. 10 divided by 1/2 is actually 10 times 2.
10 minus.
Nope.
10 divided by 2.
10 divided by 2. So there's two ways you can do that. Two ways. Listen, very important. I want you to write both of them down. When you take half of something, you're multiplying by 1/2. So you could have said 1/2 C. That's one way of doing it. All right? And we'll review how to multiply fractions, of course. You could also say when you take half of something, you're just what? Dividing by 2. So 1/2 C is the same as C divided by 2. Make sure you know that. Make sure you know that. You can write either one of those. You can write either one of those because that means exactly the same thing. All right? Now I'm going on to evaluating the expression. Does everybody remember these are the x equals 4, y equals 6, and z equals 3? All right? So now it's just a matter of mental math right now. All right, let's do some mental math. So x plus y plus z. Help me out in the front, right here. Tell me your first name.
Ben.
Ben, number 11. You get to do that. What is the answer?
The answer is. First you do.
Just tell me what the answer is. Use your mental math. I'm going to believe you.
13.
You're awesome. 13. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to question 13. Tell me your name up front.
Hunter.
Hunter. Sorry. Hunter. 13.
I was saying 13.
Look. Stop. I'm taking care of business.
Oh, okay. So that'll be 4 plus 3.
Wait a minute. Read it carefully.
4 minus 3.
Yes.
So 1.
Simple. 1. All right. Scroll over to 15 now. Shh. 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 What's the matter?
Oh, he just asked me.
I don't want him to ask you a question. All right. I want you to ask me a question. I'm the best. All right. So you wouldn't do anything except get the information from the best. All right. So you would ask me. I'll always send you in the right direction. All right. Do you understand what? You okay now? All right. 15. Tell me.
15 times 3. So
Yes.
45.
15 times 3, which is in fact 45. Easy. All right. Now we did 17 in the last class, so we're going to go ahead and do 16 in this class. All right. Somebody who hasn't spoken up yet. Yes, ma'am. Right over here. Tell me your first name again. I knew that. Kate, go ahead. Tell me with 16.
So 4 plus 3 is
Mhm.
7 times 3 is 9.
What'd you say?
7 times 3 is 20.
There you go, girl. 21. Perfect. 7 times 3 is 21. All right. Now, all you're doing, like I said, give yourself a check. If you know what you're doing, there's no reason to lie to yourself. If you don't know what you're doing, you ask for help. All right, we got this. All right. 18, Mr. Slack.
Okay. 18. So, 14.
How'd you get that?
Like. Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Trust me.
Okay. I did y times z, which is y times z, which is 6 times 3.
Right?
6 times 3 is 18
Uh-huh.
minus x, which is 4. So 18 minus 4 is 14.
That's easy. Good job. Perfect. That's what I want. All right. Very good. All right. Who hasn't said anything today? You said something? Did you give me an answer? All right. Yes. So let's not count that. All right. We're on. Let me do 21 with me. Go. Tell me your first name again, though. Emily. Sorry. Emily, go. Suttereth, right?
Yes.
All right. Good.
So 7 plus 9 is 16. Or you did 4.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Totally. 16. That's good.
The parentheses is 2 plus 5. That's 7. And 16 minus 7 is 9.
We're awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, 23. All right. What does that mean? Tell me your Cole. That's right, Cole. Sorry. Read me or tell me how to do 23.
Well, B is 9. Okay, so 9 times 2 times 3. No, 9 times 2 times 5.
Right.
And that equals 90.
You're awesome. That's 90. Very good. Anybody have any concerns with that? I agree. Nothing. All right, let's take a look at 25. All right, anybody else? Does everybody have a turn? Everybody had a turn, right?
Mhm.
All right, so 25. Let's just tell me what the answer is. Everybody, look at 25. What's the answer? Somebody said 18. Anybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody happy with 18? Now remember, if you're not happy with 18, you thought it was 16, put your hand up and say, man, for some silly reason, I'm not seeing it. No one cares. We want you to ask questions. It's a sign of strength, not of weakness. If you don't know something, speak up. Any question? All right, here we go. 27. Quickly, somebody tell me that answer. To annoy people, that's what I like to do. Somebody said 0. Anybody else?
10.
Somebody said 10. Good. I'm on 27. Somebody else? Somebody else said 10, right?
Yeah.
So I have 2 10s. Anybody else?
10.
Somebody else said 10. Mr. Sincel, you working with me?
10.
You agree with 10? So it must be 10, right? So whoever got 0, recalculate and see if you agree with 10. Is that correct? All right, good. I don't want to do all the problems. I want you to figure them out. All right, 29. Everybody tell me what 29 is real quick.
Oh, 6.
Somebody said 9. Uh-oh. Somebody said 9.
6?
Somebody said 6.
Yes. 6.
Yeah, someone said for sure because I did the problem, it must be 6, right?
Oh,
I like that. No, I like the confidence. 9's definitely not right. Somebody else said 9. Uh-oh, we got 2 9s and 2 6s. Does anybody know for sure what the answer is?
it's 6.
Oh, Danzy usually doesn't make mistakes, so let's go ahead and give the floor to Miss Danzy. Go ahead. Hold up, Miss Danzy is telling me. Go.
B equals 9.
Right?
C equals 2.
So,
And when there's not a sign, it means B is multiplying 3. That gives 18.
that's
And then
18.
A is 7 and D is 5 minus
What is that? Hold on. Stop. Go. What is that?
is 2 and then 8,
Wait a minute. 7 minus 5 is?
2.
Yes?
And then 18 divided by 2.
Isn't it good to be right all the time, Miss Danzy?
Yes.
Yes, it is good to be right. Okay, I like that. The answer was definitely 9. The answer was definitely 9. Good job. Listen, again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not keeping score who's right and wrong, except if I say something, you can guarantee that it's what?
Right.
You guarantee that it's
Right.
correct. That sign isn't up there for a reason. They call me Mr. Right. Okay, now, what time do we get out of here?
You said you should stop at
1:35. You said you'd stop us at 1:30.
No,
Get out at
Stop at 1:30?
Right.
Okay, now, just because we did a fantastic job today, we're going to go ahead to save us some time tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and redo some of the properties real quick. So we'll be a little bit ahead of the other class, but that's okay. All right? Now, over the summer, you did some property problems, I believe. So you should kind of remember this. All right? Let's just go down the list. Does anybody remember if 9 times 7 is equal to 7 times 9?
Yes.
So what property is that? That's correct. The commutative property, right? So this is commutative property of what? Multiplication. That's how you're writing it. If you want to abbreviate, that's fine.
We write C.
C-O-M-M, commute. So C-O-M-M-U-T-A-T-I-V-E, commute. All right, not commune. All right, commutative property of multiplication. All right, number 2. Anytime you multiply by 0, you get what?
0.
What property is that? This is the hard one.
Isn't it AD?
You are awesome, girl. The zero property. Very good. The zero property. And that just simply says if you multiply by 0, you get what?
0.
You get 0. All right. Number 3. Somebody, what happens if you multiply by 1?
You get the same answer.
You get the same answer. Now that, no. Associative has to do with grouping. Who do you associate with? That's your grouping. This is called the multiplicative. That's just a fancy way for saying multiply. It's called the multiplicative identity. All right? It's the multiplicative identity. That basically just means what? If you multiply by 1, you get the same answer. Is everybody with me on that? Just like if you multiply by 0, you're always going to get what?
0.
0. If you multiply by 1, you get that answer. You should know this. Uh-oh. Everybody should be able to do number 4 because you already know number 1. Commutative property of?
Multiplication.
Adding.
Of addition. So, COMM, commutative property of addition.
What if we're kind of like forgot some of the bigger names?
That's why we're doing it. That's why I'm writing it down for you. You're supposed to know them now. All right? You're supposed to know them. All right? And it's okay if you forgot. It's totally okay. You know the next one?
Associate.
You are awesome, buddy. It is the associative property. Now look, how do I know the associative property? See how it says 3, 6, and A? 3, 6, and A. The order is the same. If the order is the same, it's not the commutative property. What's changed? The grouping symbols. Grouping is the associative. All right? If those parentheses are different, it's the associative property. All right? Now, you got to be careful if you abbreviate associative now. All right? Associative property of?
Multiplication.
All right, associative property of multiplication. All right, the next one. 2b plus 0 equals 2b. That's an identity because you're staying the same. What type of identity? That's right. But we don't say addition property or addition identity. We say the additive identity. That would be the additive identity. Anytime you perform an operation and you remain the same, it's an identity. All right, that's how easy that is. That's the additive identity. Identity. All right. All right, so everybody should be happy with number 7.
Oh, that's associative.
Of?
Addition.
Right. So ASS, OC, addition. Associative property of addition. They're trying to trick you on number 8. Now, before you say something crazy, make sure you look carefully. You're awesome. Tell me why.
Because it's like you said the order.
The order is changed. Very smart. Very, very smart. Because they have parentheses doesn't automatically mean that it is associative. If the order changes, it's automatically what? It's automatically commutative. All right? And we're doing multiplication, right? Commutative property of multiplication. All right? Wow, because you guys are awesome. What time did I say to stop? All right, so we can do this. So let's just practice. Well, obviously, answer for 9 is what? 0, because we're multiplying by what?
0.
Anytime we multiply by 0, we get 0. All right, now number 11, what's 9 times 4?
36.
So that simplifies to 36W. You guys should know this, right?
Yes.
That's not a problem, right?
Right.
Now, on this one, just see if you agree with me. That's just x plus 9. How did I know it was x plus 9? Because you add 5 and 4 together.
Right.
Is everybody happy with that?
Yes.
Adding 4 and 5 together. All right? So 15 would be v plus 50. What did I do? I added 38 and 12.
So is it kind of like if you don't know what's in parentheses, you would go out of?
Well, there's Yeah,
Well, if it's a
the parentheses right now, there's no other operation on that parentheses. All right, so we really technically don't need the parentheses.
Oh.
All right. 17, we're multiplying by 0, so that must be what?
0.
19 must be
17.
how much?
72.
72. That's all right. And then 21 must be,
33K.
and then 23.
Uh,
Whoa, 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 come on. 13 times 5, that's embarrassing. You should know what that is.
65.
65, because you would say 5 times 10,
Yeah.
and then 5 times 3, then add them in your head. 65, right?
Right.
65.
65M.